Yo, what is going on, guys? We back with Georgia Sports Nation here tonight. The third edition of Georgia Sports Nation. We got two guys here with me tonight. We're gonna be talking some Braves going into the postseason. A really exciting time for the Braves and the Hawks starting off their preseason with a dub in Abu Dhabi against the Bucks. Huge win and great start for the Hawks to hopefully be on back to championship contention this season. But I'm gonna let these guys right next to me introduce themselves. Man, Mike, what's going on with you?
Hey man, this is a little different from what people are accustomed, to watching me. Let's talk some Braves and Hawk stuff. I'm excited, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Chauncey, what about you?
Chauncey King, aka OG Truth Hurts. Let's get some truth serum. Let's get it.
Sir, yes, sir.
He started off like that.
Talking Braves and Hawks tonight. So we had obviously an exciting baseball time in the world today. The postseason started. We had some crazy wild card games today. Already, we got the Phillies scoring 6 runs in the top of the ninth to come back versus the Cardinals. We got Luis Castillo shutting down the Toronto Blue Jays offense. And now we've got this Mets. Now we got this Mets Padres series just starting with Josh Bell hitting a 2-run homer in the first inning to put the Mets down 2-0. Our arch rivals, Lowell Mets. So with our Braves waiting to see who we're gonna face with the Cardinals and Nationals. The Cardinals and the Phillies. We're gonna get into some Braves talk here, but before the postseason, we're really gonna be recapping just this last week about what happened with the Braves. We really just put it to the Mets and gave it to them in Atlanta. Sweeping that series was huge, winning tiebreaker, and just taking the division by storm, honestly, in that last week was awesome to see. We're hot. We're coming into our October hot like we did last year. So really good stuff from the Braves. And looking forward to seeing them play again on Tuesday. What do you think about that Mets series, Truth?
I mean, it came down to that. We started this run back on the 28th of May, when Mike came up, and really, what you wanted to do is just try to chop it down gradually, slowly, and that's what they did. And what you wanted was to have a shot on the last series of the season. We went into the last series down 1 game. 2 out of 3 would have had us virtually tied, but they would have owned the tiebreaker, being up 10-9. But when we swept them, I think that kind of just took all the air out of them when we swept them. And I really honestly wouldn't be surprised if San Diego just sweeps them on out of there, because both teams honestly was built for the postseason. San Diego and New York basically. San Diego they built their team to beat the Dodgers. The Mets built their team to beat the Braves. So both teams are built for the postseason. That should be a pretty interesting series there. But as far as how we finished up, the run was amazing, man. We went like 78 and 30.
78 33, I believe it was.
78 and 34, I think it was 78 and 34. And that's like 44 games over 500. The interesting part about that is when the run started, the Mets were 17 games over 500, and they were up 10.5 games. They wound up after that. They played like 24 games over 500, which means they played better. The Braves' run was just so amazing and historic. And I know a lot of Mets fans are probably just going in on the Mets, but the Mets actually played better. But it all boiled down to we just walked them down. We walked them down. We had clutch pitching. We had clutch hitting. We had excellent back end relief pitching. As much as Kenley kind of stumbled midway through the season, he got it together, man. He wound up finishing with 41 saves, and the 7 blown saves. I could take 7 blown saves when you have 48 chances. So,
there you go.
He seems to be where he needs to be. He seems to be in rhythm. Snit got his rotation set. I don't know who the game 1 and 2 starters are. It was my guess. It will be Max, then Kyle.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the game 3 on the road, you go with Charlie. No, game 3. Game 3 on the. Say it again.
You go Strider if he's healthy, which Alex Anthopoulos said most likely Strider will be healthy. Ozzy Albies, unfortunately, will most likely miss the NLDS. But if we advance, Ozzy could come back, he said.
You know what? I'm gonna throw a curveball on this. I think Spencer should go to the bullpen, and let me tell you why. Spencer, he empties the tank every time he throws. You know, you got a young kid who he averages literally 98 miles per hour per pitch, no matter what he throws, and he pretty much he hasn't gotten too far past the 6th inning because he just really empties the tank. I personally would put him in the bullpen. If we start him, that's even better. But I would put Spencer. Put Spencer in some middle relief type role, especially for this
kind of how you did Tyler Maxey.
This best
like Tyler Maxey.
Yeah, this best 3 out of 5. You really only need 3 starters anyway.
Yep.
You definitely want to throw the vet. You want to throw Charlie in the best 3 out of 5. Nothing against Spencer. We already know what Spencer did, but we don't want to put him in a situation where the moment is too big for him. Charlie's been there. He's pitched in clutch situations before with us and with over in the American League. But hey, I trust Snit. Whichever way he go, I trust him whichever way he go. But if Snit follows true to form, what he did last year, if we go up 2 games to none, Snit probably he may do a bullpen game in game 3 and just have Morton and Freed set for possibly game 4 or 5, and at best 3 out of 5. Now, once you go 4 out of 7, then you incorporate Spencer Strider. Did Jake Odorizzi make the postseason roster?
Postseason roster for the wild card series were announced this morning for the teams, so I'd imagine our roster isn't due until Tuesday morning.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be a bit.
But the only thing, as far as the lineup is concerned, I think we need to leave MH2 down at the bottom. Agreed. He kind of struggled a little bit in the 3-hole, and that's okay. That's quite all right. Let's just leave him down at the bottom. Let him be a little more comfortable hitting at the bottom. Now the question is he gonna stay with Arcia at second base? Is he gonna stay with the experience, or will he take a chance with the rook? And that's just the only question that I have. I'm not gonna question Brian Snitker, especially after last year. He did a super fantastic job managing that bullpen last year, and he got timely hitting from all those bats that Alex Anthopoulos brought in. Man, Alex Anthopoulos is probably the best GM in all of sports right now.
100%.
It'd be hard and extremely hard to argue that. What you think about that, Mad Mike?
Yeah. What? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna just pose an additional question to you. What do you think we do at second base with Arcia and Grissom, especially with when Ozzy comes back? He's gonna play, obviously. But
we already know Ozzy's gonna play when he comes back.
I know. I totally agree with him. That's essentially what I was gonna say. I was gonna say like I would actually go with the experience. Like me personally in the postseason. I would much rather have Arcia there. I know Grissom is one of those guys that he's up and coming, but you don't know how he's going to play in the postseason. And I'm not like I would not want to put a young guy, because if he struggles, the fans are going to get right back. All right, they're going to try to kill his confidence. So I would rather a guy who's been there, like Arcia, start. And if he struggles for the most part, then you bring in a guy like Grissom.
I 100% agree. I'm starting Arcia with Grissom as well. And also, 1, veteran, and 2, Grissom, for what he did when he came up, it was amazing. Like, there's nothing more you could ask from him. But he definitely struggled towards the end, and he came back down to earth a little bit, which is why when Arcia came back, you got to give a lot of credit to that man because he could have easily said, "Oh, Vaughn Grissom came up, he's take my spot. He's going to play until Ozzy comes back. I'm just going to sit back, relax." No, Arcia, being a veteran, he was able to stay ready. He was able to know that his time was going to come. Vaughn Grissom started struggling. Snit trust me. I know what I'm going to do. So he was able to stay ready and really contribute to this team, especially had some really big homers in the last week for the Braves as well. But during that Mets series, the big three of the Braves really, really showed up. Dansby Swanson, Austin Riley, and Matt Olson. Matt Olson actually, we're getting into that a bit later, winning the National League Player of the Week for the last week. And that's just huge because especially with the season that Matt Olson's had, it has not been bad. Let me get this straight. Hit over 30 homers, over 100 RBIs. The average is never going to be where Freddie is. He's not a 300 hitter. Matt's like a 250, 270 to hitter. But his average at 230 is a little bit down from where you expect. But the power numbers and the RBI numbers will always be there for Olson. So he had a great season overall. But during that Mets series, the pitching also showed up. Max Fried basically had a Jordan flu game in that game against DeGrom. I mean, he went out there in the fifth inning, and we saw that video, and he pitched 5 scoreless innings. I mean, what more can you ask for this man with the World Series outing last year too? That shows that he's really there for those big moments. To do anything.
Well, the rumor was Jordan was drunk. Can we say that about Max?
I don't think Max was drunk, but I don't think
he was some out there on that end. He was on some out there on that leg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was on Jesus. He was on Jesus. He had Jesus with him.
To piggyback about Matt Olson, his bat warmed up at the right time. Anytime you get 35 in the 100 out of the 4-hole, I'm not looking at the batting average.
Yep.
Unless he's batting 140, 142, and even if he is batting 142, 35 and 100 is 35 and 100 in the 4-hole. So you getting that out in the 4-hole. People got to stop looking for Freddie Freeman to come up out of the dugout.
Freddie struggled. Freddie struggled in the playoff last year. So his bat wasn't as big as people like thought during the regular
last
season.
year.
His defense was great.
Not last year.
Freddie Freeman before we're talking about before he got hot, he was struggling early in the playoffs.
Now Go ahead.
He's used. We're talking about the Freddie Freeman that we're used to seeing. This is something that we've seen in the past. Freddie has always gotten off to a slow start in the playoffs. When we needed him most, he stepped up and he's always had good defense. So, like as far as Olsen is concerned, like I'm not concerned with him. He has great defense. He's going to hit for power, and that's essentially what you get. And on top of that, you got Acuna this year. Like Acuna is going to stress those counts, man, and force pitchers to pitch more, especially if he's at the top of the lineup like he used to. Those guys are going to be a lot careful. He's going to see a lot more pitches, and he's going to be a lot more patient. So I'm really not focused on Olsen. My concern with this offense is really one guy. What are they going to do with Ozuna?
Okay,
That's my big.
Nothing. My answer in one word is nothing. Because here's the thing. Ozuna should, in my opinion, 100% make this postseason roster. 100%. His numbers since the DUI are actually insane. He's batting over 300. He's slugging close to 800. He's got an OPS over 900. And he's smacking the ball. Like I know people say, he's a bad person, like, the PR catastrophe that he associates stuff. But when you're producing and you want to win a title, I think you put your high hitters out there. And I know this may be a controversial decision, but Marcell, you can't ignore the past 8 years of Marcell Ozuna's career. for 1 year. You can't do that. You simply just can't do that. Like he's been a great hitter every year of his career, besides this year and a half of last year when he got hurt. So
I would definitely start him against any lefty.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like you said, his numbers picked up since that situation. I mean, people have situations, and he is far from a bad guy. He's one of the greatest guys. He's a great teammate. Everybody
loves him in the clubhouse.
Everybody love him in the club. That's why he's still here. You know, they could have easily 86'd him, especially with with his second off the field incident. But no, I 100% agree. You keep him on the postseason roster. If nothing else, to have that veteran back coming off the bench, because the way Schnitt been using it, pretty much he been putting the kid, our catcher, the Contreras kid, in the DH, and that's fine. But what happens if the moment gets too big for him? If the moment gets too big for him, you still got Ozuna. You still got Grossman. You got veteran pop that you can go to in certain situations. So I think we're in a good place. We don't care about playing on the road. We showed that in last postseason, and we showed that all the year this year. So in a case where we do get past either Philly or St. Louis, and we got to go on the road to LA, so what? We've done it before. I'm extremely excited. I really like the Braves, and I really like the Braves to be the first team to do a back-to-back since that juggernaut Yankees team back in the late '90s going into the 2000s. Yeah. Everybody just got to fall in line. Do their job. We ain't got to worry about nobody having a meltdown. Mike Fultonavich is gone, and you know, we don't have to look for the ghost of Freddie Freeman. Look, Freddie was wonderful for this franchise, and I wish him the best, except for when he plays us. So I mean, that's about it. I hope again, getting back to the rook. Now we got to look at who in my opinion, is a slam dunk rookie of the year with Mike. I hope the moment don't get too big for Mike, and as long as the moment don't get too big for him, we trended upward. But I'm gonna tell you, I think right now the MVP. If you want, I'm gonna go out on a limb. The MVP of this team,
Michael Harris.
That's an excellent pick. But I'm gonna say Dansby Swanson. Dansby take a lot of heat. He take a lot of heat from the Braves fan base. I don't know why. The last 3 or 4 postseasons, Dansby has swung the bat. Yes, he starts off slow every year, but he gets it. He gets it together. Like what he did out of the 2-hole late in the season, and what he did at shortstop. If you put his numbers up against the big money guys.
Like Lindor, Turner, Correa.
Yeah, like he's right there with them. And I honestly think the Braves should retain him. I'm saying don't bust it up. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Alex Anthopoulos has done a great job with managing the money. I like the way he's managed his money is like. Billy Beane right now is right now he's saying, okay, it's finally working, because what Alex Anthopoulos is doing is what Billy Beane envisioned 30 years ago. That's why they made the movie Moneyball. You know, try to keep the money respectable and still get production out of guys and you know and not send the organization belly up. So the Braves are in a good spot when it comes to that. The only thing you probably want to be concerned with, I mean, we got to address the elephant in the room. What we don't want is for Kenley to nibble when he gets into the game. Sometimes he tries to nibble because he lost a mile or two off his fastball after he came back from his heart situation. So he's trying to go to his cutter a little bit more. and he's trying to locate it. As long as Kenley gets ahead in the count, we're gonna be tough to beat because them lefties out the bullpen are some bulldogs. Maxick and Mena, hey, I'll take them guys to any
Meta has come
game
a long way, man. That dude used to give me so many heart attacks.
Remember the days that the fans would be booing him when he come into the game?
Right.
Hey, man, I just don't. I like Iglesias from the right side. Just I don't want Iglesias to think that he can throw every fastball past these MLB hitters because look, I don't care how hard you can throw it. A major league hitter can time a fastball.
Yep.
That's the only thing I'm concerned with him. I love
Iglesias.
What's our fifth inning guy? McHugh. I love McHugh. I like Chavez. I just like, hey, listen, man. I like everything about the Braves right now. It ain't nothing that I'm not concerned with much. Travis is clutch in the postseason. He's clutch anyway. So we looking good. We trending up, and our team is still. We got babies. And I haven't even mentioned Austin Riley yet. Austin Riley is a perennial MVP candidate.
I was going to say we got to mention Austin Riley at some point.
Very joining us here
because that guy has been phenomenal, man.
He has.
Yeah,
really
has been. He has been, man. And I'm sorry, Austin Riley. I'm sorry. I left you out like that, man. I apologize.
Up until like that final 3, maybe 4 weeks of the season, he was legit like second for MVP race. I don't think he's going to win it now because of the year that Freddie's had, because of the year that Goldschmidt and Arenado have had. But he was definitely in that race.
I think Goldschmidt's going to get it
until the last few weeks of the season for sure.
Yeah, but I think Goldschmidt's going to get it. But the hell with that individual award. Hey, we got him for 10 more years.
Exactly.
So, MVP pretty sure going to be.
Speaking.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Speaking of Goldschmidt, let's break down the potential matchup here. So on one hand, we got the Phillies, who we're very familiar with. We know they can hit. They have the best batting average with runners in scoring position in the league. And they're pitching. They got 2 guys. They got the Wheelers of the world. They got the Nolas of the world. But then that's it. Their bullpen only has 2 guys they trust, but they can't really pitch that well. Then on the other hand, we got the Cardinals, whose bullpen is nasty. Their pitching is more complete, but not as dominant, and they can hit. I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather see the Phillies. For me, I don't think their pitching, especially in a 5-game series when they probably need to throw 3 or 4 pitchers, I don't think that can hold up against us. What do you think about that, Mad Mike?
I actually like the Cardinals.
The Cardinals, okay.
That's against the Cardinals because like the Cardinals have a lot of guys in the bullpen who throw a lot of fastballs. They throw a lot of hard fastballs, but I think with our hitters, especially guys like Acuna, you're going there trying to throw fastballs against those guys. Like I said, those guys, it's all about timing. If the Braves end up, getting the timing right with the bullpen, I don't think their pitching is always going to be top notch. But I believe with our lineup and the guys that we have, again, Ozuna, you have Olsen, you have Albies. He may be able to come back, but like I trust our hitters against their fastballs. Like I would much rather see the Cardinals than the
Cardinals. And this is just what and then I'll ask the same question to you, Truth. This is a bit what Marcell Ozuna has done for Mark Bowman here within the last two seasons, especially, and like you said, man, Mike, Ozuna hits hard fastballs really well. So compared to Ozuna and Contreras, the numbers really aren't close here. You've got Ozuna producing at a much higher rate, and also that K rate from Ozuna is really important because the main struggles he had this year were striking out so much and walking less than he did in that MVP year or MVP caliber year when he had it in the shortened COVID season. Now he's walking more and striking out less, and he can do that. We could see him going off on another tear. But deciding vote here, Truth, what would you say, Cardinals or Phillies?
I don't want the Phillies, and let me tell you why, man. Nola and Wheeler, if they're on, if Philly got their rotation set, Nolan Willie their own, we could be down 2-0 quick. Like and those guys, they some horses, they some dogs, so they can go deep into a game. Now, yes, their bullpen is shaky, but man, them guys, they can go pitch for pitch with Kyle and Max, and I would even though St. Louis got, I think their lineup is more feisty. They're gonna put the ball in play a little bit more.
Yeah,
Philly gonna put the ball over the fence, and they got some feisty guys too. But you know what? Hey, we got the home field advantage. We the defending champs. Bring them on, bring them long, bring them strong.
Well said. Yes, sir. Yeah. No matter what, we will be favored to win this series. No matter what.
Absolutely.
And favored heavily, if I can speak today. Yeah. So I think that's overall, that's just the biggest.
I just hate
that's the biggest deal.
I just hate the best 3 out of 5 anything can go, man. Because you catch a team high, you catch it. That's how the Nets.
That's how we yeah.
That's how the Nets want it. Like the Nets, they came out of the
wild card.
They came out of the wild card. Right, they won all the important games on the road. I want to say in that NLCS or the World Series, the road team won every game.
The road team won every game in the World Series. I know that.
Yeah, the road team won every game. That's something to do, So, but you get out of that 3 out of 5, because that's when that's where you can get upset in that 3 out of 5. Once we go to best out of 7, that a possible Dodger Braves or even a Dodgers Mets series is going to be one to be taped. But it could be real. It could get real interesting if the Padres sneak the Mets, because you already know they're going to go at LA. They're going to go at LA. So, that's going to be that's a heated, bitter rivalry out there. It's not as big as the Dodgers Giants, but hey. Hey, San Francisco and LA, they right by each other. It's like Atlanta, Lawrenceville. So they gonna try to get at each other.
They're down. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, the Mets are down 3-0 right now. I mean, 2 homers from the Padres. We got Trent Grisham and Josh Bell going deep.
And they threw Max tonight. Max Scherzer. You talking about dead arm Max?
Yeah.
Oh, they threw Darvish.
Darvish for the Padres and Scherzer for the Mets. So that's huge.
Dead arm Max, huh? By the way, thank you, Max Scherzer. Thank you, Max Scherzer, for telling the Dodgers after Game 5 your arm was dead last year. Thank you, Max Scherzer. Thank you.
Yeah. Good call. But the postseason, I've always said this about the baseball postseason. I don't know about you guys, but to me, the baseball postseason is the most intense out of any sport, like regular season or playoffs for another.
It ain't close. It's
not even close. Like you can't. I know people will say basketball, football, hockey even is more active, but when you get one runner on in the postseason, and your team is pitching, those butterflies are already forming in your stomach.
Absolutely.
You get one runner on, and it's already in the regular season. It's not like that. But in the postseason, it's a whole different animal.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I don't those like baseball haters. Those people say baseball. You shouldn't watch baseball. It's boring. The postseason. Throw that out the window. It's postseason. This sport.
Get 2-0 on battles when a battle is too. Your heart is pumping as not only as a player, just watching it. It's look. I hate the 2-0 counts. The 2-0 counts. You think everything is gonna go out of the park when you get 2-0.
That's true.
Because you can't throw a get me over strike with these guys out here. These guys, they believe in it. We're living in the era of lift and launch. Hey, 2-0, they looking to go in the parking lot, bro. So, but the only thing that I would be concerned with is we up 1, bottom of the 9th or top of the 9th. Kenley's on the mound, and The first guy up is Gene Segura, a guy with good wheels. Oh boy, and he walks him or something like that. He's not very good at holding on runners, but that's just something we had to cross that bridge when we get to it for the most part.
And for me, Kenley really did not have a bad season at all. Everybody, and for closers at in particular, it's magnified, right? When you have a stretch like Kenley did of like 2.5 weeks of blowing like 3 out of 7 saves or 4 out of 7 saves, it's magnified. If you look at his numbers after that 2 week out of 162 games, this guy was virtually unhittable. I mean, I can't believe people have the audacity to say Kenley Jansen was a horrible closer for this team. He was horrible for 2 weeks. What? It's 162 games for a reason.
They used to everything.
Do you know out of those seven games he blew, we only lost 2 of them.
Yep.
Like, what
it's
are we
blown
talking
out of
about
proportion.
here?
It's blown out of proportion. Wallace also had a question here saying, "Will Albies play in this postseason?" And Wallace, if Alex Anthopoulos had said after the Braves clinched in Miami that if the Braves make it to the NLCS, Albies can come back. He has the potential to come back there. But in the division series, Albies probably will not be playing, unfortunately. Strider most likely will, though. So that's a good sign.
I expect to see him if we make it to the World Series. I expect I 100% expect him to be there. We make the World Series, and he's still questionable for the NLCS division series. He's completely out. But I still like it. Listen, man, next man up. You know, injury brings opportunity. We've seen this in the past. It happened last year. Acuna go down. Ozuna have his little situation. We still ain't seen Soroka for 2.5 years. Injury brings opportunity. This year, Adam Duvall is down. Ozzy is down right now. Spencer went down. The next man up, and the Braves have been real good at, you know, guys just filling in and just, you know, playing their role, and that's all you ask, man. Baseball is a tough sport. I am a baseball guy. I'm a manager, like, and it's so hard to manage 25 to 27 different personalities and know when, you know what matchup, you know, to. It's tough, man. It's tough. When people be going in on Snit, I'm like, go out there and manage a baseball game. Yep. All right, you got to know when you're bringing in a pitcher, you got to know what he's done against this batter. These 3 batters is coming up. You know, you may bring in Maggiet, and they may have the team we playing may have a right-handed loaded, you know, batting lineup, and Maggiet might, 2 of those guys might have had Maggiet numbers. So you may, instead of going Maggiet, you may have to go Colin McHugh, who got a little more movement, a little more off speed. So it's just, you know, hey, it's tough, man. It's tough.
It is, and then it will just like touch on this for a few minutes. Last Braves talk. Matt Olson winning the NL Player of the Week is huge. It's huge for momentum going into the postseason, and the way he performed in that Mets series is just really encouraging to see that, you know, he's a big game player. I know Mad Mike, you were saying about, like, you know, you're not worried about Olson. What did you see in these last few days of the season, last week of the season, that made him as successful as he was?
Honestly, I just think it's for him, his confidence. I think, you know, you going from struggling, like the dude couldn't make contact he couldn't make contact. So seeing him now, it's just all about it. Like he go from can't touch the ball to just like everything that he's touching right now. It's like it's just confidence for me. Because like anytime you going into the playoffs, that's the first thing that you want, that you need, is your players to believe in themselves and understand like they're not going into the playoffs just struggling. Their confidence. So that's what I see in Matt Olson.
What about you, Truth?
I'm gonna piggyback on that. I mean, he was struggling, like I just said. It's a saying in baseball when a guy's struggling, he can't hit a sack of balls, he can't hit a parked car, but he got it together. I mean, he got it together, and he showed up when it counted, man. Like, I know the Mets right now drunk. Like, they're like, how did this happen? This couldn't have happened. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And I loved it. I loved it, y'all. I'm pretty sure y'all loved it for the same reason. Like, the national media, they really, really wanted the Mets to win that division. That radio host, his show needs to get canceled.
Oh my gosh! I saw that really made me mad.
He literally back June 1 guaranteed. Like he said, book it. That's what he said. Book it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to open up the book now.
The analyst is over. The analyst is over.
Oh man. Oh my goodness. This is a family show, but I got some work. I got some thoughts about the New York fans. Kind of similar to what I got about a lot of our Atlanta fans. But it's a family show.
We got and then we got Yusuke here coming into the comments here saying it should be interesting with what happens with the Braves in the playoffs. 100%. I mean, I like I said, postseason baseball is a different animal. I can't wait to see this postseason. I'm sure a lot of us are. But last quick point on Olsen here that I wanted to make is one notice I saw in his batting stance. So Olsen really holds the bat far out in front of him, right? And that last week, it was a little bit closer to his body. So he had it out here when he was struggling, and throughout the beginning of the year, he put it a little bit closer to his head. And it honestly felt like his timing was much better. He was late on a lot of fastballs and missing balls down the middle when he was struggling. But those 3 homers in that New York series, and he had a homer in the Marlins series as well to clinch it. He pulled those homers off fastballs, and they were on actually all different pitches. In the Mets series, he hit one off a fastball, off a curveball, and off a changeup. That's huge deal for Matt Olson's confidence, especially like you were saying, Mike. But that change that Kevin Seitzer probably worked with him on keeping his hands closer to his body was really key for him in my opinion. So
another unsung hero too, Kevin Seitzer. He is really
his swing is naturally long, so those like he's going to struggle in those situations because
I would never teach that. I would never teach that. I don't see how he get his bat through the zone, y'all.
Yeah,
I would never teach that, but hey, it works for him. 35 and 100. I'm gonna shut up. I'm sorry.
Yep. I mean, he's got to have such strong arms to do that too. Like it's there, and he's got to keep that level too. Like it's impressive to what he does, really. But with that, any last words? Any last few words on the Braves before we move on to the Hawks?
Chop on.
That's
yes,
it.
Sir. The hashtag the Braves Twitter are using this postseason is back to battle. So
back to battle. Oh, okay.
Yes, with the ATL in battle capitalized. So
let's get it.
We always represent the A. But yeah, moving on to the Atlanta Hawks. Our Hawks were in Abu Dhabi this past week. Took home the dub yesterday against the Milwaukee Bucks, 123-113. And honestly, it was huge. It was just fun to watch Hawks basketball. We can go over some highlights for the game after this, and I have some clips and some photos to show y'all about the impact that some of these players are making already. The new pickups, especially the Holiday brothers and DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray was excellent. As we look into the box score here, we can see DeJounte Murray put up in his Hawks debut 25, 9, and 8 on efficient shooting, 8, 9 of 13, 0 of 2 from 3. But his shot's going to be, a little bit in the works. But what did you guys see from Murray and any other stuff that you want to point out from this box score?
I know Chauncey gonna like when I say this. I know he's gonna like this. They're not shooting a lot of threes. DeJounte Murray is not shooting a lot of threes. He has that mid-range jump shot knock. He has that thing, in his arsenal. And that's something you look at Trae Young last year. One of the things that coming from the playoffs that he needed to work on was that floater and mid-range jump shot. So now you have two guys who can not only hit the three, but those guys, if you crash too hard on these guys on the perimeter, both of those guys can drive to the hole and they can hit that mid-range jump shot. So it's going to be interesting to see how teams balance. I don't think those guys are going to be able to handle Trae Young and DeJounte Murray with that mid-range jump shot and compound that with like the three-point shooting. I don't think the Hawks are going to be as good of a three-point shooter team that they were in previous years, but I think they're going to be a much more efficient offense, being that these guys have the ability to, like I said, hit that mid-range jump shot, and both those guys can pass. And I think two guys is going to really benefit from this. That's Clint Capella and John Collins. I expect a big year from John Collins.
Big in terms of playing his role, like scoring 15 to 16 points per game, or big in terms of like a 20-point like average?
I think he's going to average closer to 20 points this year because you have two guys. Like I said, both those guys are very athletic, incredibly athletic. Then you have Trae Young, who's going to be able to play off the ball. So if you crash too hard on DeJounte Murray, he passed it out to Trae Young, and Trae Young can hit John Collins for an easy bucket. So I think he's going to be a little bit more closer to 20 points a game this year, playing with two guards that can move the ball around.
I hope so. I don't know if I see John Collins having a 20-point per game season, but I definitely think he'll have a much better season than he's had in the past, especially with two guys that can play make. What did you say out of the game, Truth, or anything that shouts out to you on the box score?
Okay, I'm gonna be the buzzkill, and I'm gonna be the buzzkill.
Hey, we gotta have two sides of the coin here.
I knew you was gonna do that.
I'm not finished. I'm gonna be the buzzkill for the rest of the league. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Your Atlanta Hawks gonna be a problem. What I saw yesterday, and yes, first of all, we talked about it this morning over in New Pack City. Shout out to Jamal Price over there in New Pack City group. Yes, it's just the first game, so we're not gonna throw too much confetti. But we played the team who the preseason ranking is the number one ranked team so far in the NBA, and they went at us. They really tried to win that game yesterday. You know they're trying to win when Giannis start facilitating. Now let's get back to my Hawks. For you analytics guys, Milwaukee Bucks made 14 threes yesterday. The Atlanta Hawks made 7. They made 21 more points per the 3-point line than the Atlanta Hawks. Mike, you're right. I love this part. The Atlanta Hawks scored 102 points either from the free throw line or inside that 3-point line. That bodes well for us. Okay. The Holiday brothers coming off the bench is an added bonus. I love when they brought in the youngest Holiday and put him on the point, and they brought Trae back in and moved him off the ball.
I love that.
Trae looked extremely comfortable doing that. DeJounte Murray, we got another Batman. We literally got. There's no Robin with them two. All right, we got two Batmen out there. And now here's the thing. Okay, now let's fast forward to possible playoffs. Okay, y'all want to blitz Trae? I'll go right ahead and blitz him. You know what I'll do if I'm Nate McMillan? I'll tell Trae like 3 straight times down the floor, just go to the free throw, just go through the half court line, Trae, and just stand right there. Now y'all blitz him. Okay, put the ball in DeJounte's hands. Now you want to try to run a double at him. You got Dre Hunter sitting over in the corner, who I see as a breakout year this year.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna be a serious problem. Now getting to John Collins, give me 18 and 8. Give me 18 and 8 and stay out of foul trouble and stay healthy. Give me 18 and 8, stay out of foul trouble, stay healthy. Same thing with Clint Capella. Clint, give me 12 and 10, stay out of foul trouble and stay healthy. I like our bench. I like a Congo coming out the bench. He's gonna spell Capella. He's undersized, but he comes in and he do work immediately. Yep. A potential wild card. I want y'all to take a look at number 22. His name is Martin. Last name Martin. He's our second round pick out of UConn.
Reese.
This dude here is 6'7" with length. He could he's a great on ball defender, extra ball handler, and he can also take people off the dribble. I'm not familiar with the guy who we brought over from OKC, but I'm hearing good things about him. Jalen Johnson. Yeah. Jalen Johnson didn't even make the trip. They got high hopes for him. Bogey didn't even make the trip. We're gonna be a problem. All we got to do is just stay the course. Stay the course. Stay healthy, and we're gonna be a serious problem. What I saw yesterday, again, ladies and gentlemen, it's just one game, just one preseason game. No, we're not throwing confetti. All right. But from what I saw yesterday, if you're looking at the big picture, this team is a top 3 seed in the East, and the East is loaded this year. Okay, the East, it ain't the East of the last 15 to 20 years. The East is loaded this year. You got some alpha dogs at the top of the East. You got Boston, of course. Boston gonna still be there no matter what all the personal problems they got going on up there. Miami gonna still be a player. Philly gonna still be a player. Brooklyn gonna still be a player as long as they get their in-house issues together. And then you got up and coming teams. You got Detroit.
Milwaukee
can be a sleeper. Cleveland got better. The East is tough. So you go out there. We go out there playing the way we did last year, y'all. We mess around and won't even make the playoffs. But I seriously doubt from what I see. Now I'm gonna get to DJ Murray. Young boy can ball, man. I watched him in San Antonio, and I didn't pay too much attention to him the last couple of years. Why? Because San Antonio just wasn't a very good basketball team. So it's easy to be good on a very bad basketball team if you are a halfway decent basketball player. But that young man, he's in mid-season form already. The only people that can mess this up is the bench. If Nate and his coaching staff are the only ones that can mess this up.
Agreed.
As long as they, get into their, because coaches got to get in the rhythm as well. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Coaches got to get in the rhythm as well. And it seems like Nate already got it figured out with this cast of characters that we have. So yes, I'm gonna be a buzzkill, and it's for the rest of the league. I threw you for a loop on that, huh, Mad Mike? Let's see, Mad Mike, we done tore each other head off about this.
We argue all the time. We argue all the time.
And I give Trey Young HE double hockey sticks, but I'm gonna tell you something, Trey, you ain't gotta feel all the pressure no more. You don't have to feel it no more. You can just go out there.
25. That's a balance. That's that balance.
I don't expect 29 and 10 from Trey. We don't Trey. We don't have to get 29 and 10. Trey, you give me 22 to 25 and about 7 and 8. Keep the turnovers down. And look, man, I'm gonna tell you, we gonna make some noise. Call me a homer. Okay, that's cool. But I really, really, really like what I saw after one game. They got another game tomorrow in Abu Dhabi too. But I really like what I've seen after one game. Key thing I'm saying, yes, it's one preseason game, y'all. They're going to only play 4. What I saw yesterday, looking at it from a big picture standpoint, this team, the sky's the limit.
Agreed. I mean, I really like what I saw. It's one preseason game, so we can't be overreacting. But even if it's fun to overreact to preseason. I mean, you're gonna do it as hardcore NBA fans. You watch preseason, everybody's gonna overreact to preseason. It's a natural human instinct. You're gonna do it. But I wanted to point out 2 specific things that I really saw that or 3 actually. One was in this box score. Trey Young shot 8 for 19. He didn't even have his shot. He didn't make a 3. He was 0 for 4 from 3. Yeah. We shot bad from 3, and like you said, still won the game. So that's one thing that we have DeJounte Murray now, and we can afford Trey having that rare off night and still win the game, which we couldn't do last year. That was impossible. Trey had to have a good night for us to win that game, and now we have DeJounte Murray who can help us if Trey has a bad night. Second, look at this picture here. If we see right here where Drew Holiday has the ball, we got DeJounte Murray, Justin Holiday guarding Drew Holiday, and then Bobby Portis trying to set a screen. Look at Justin Holiday here. If you see him, he's what's called screen denial. He's denying Bobby Portis to set a screen so that Bobby Portis now has to push Justin Holiday out of the way. What did this result in? An offensive foul moving pick headed the other way. Justin Holiday and Aaron Holiday, both of these guys that are defensive-minded players, are really going to help the team a lot. I think
if they go at their own brother like that.
Yep, that's true too.
Right. They came from the same mom and dad. That's their brother now.
Yep,
they go at their own brother like that.
Aaron Holiday and Justin Holiday double teamed Drew in the corner and forced the turnover. They go at each other. So the defense that we have, and I understand people who are going to miss Kevin Huerter. I'm going to miss Kevin Huerter. Obviously, yes, he could have been more aggressive. That was the knock on him every single night. We wanted him to be more aggressive because he's a good-looking player. The Mike Brown just announced today he's going to take the starting job for the Sacramento Kings for shooting guard. So that's awesome for Kevin Huerter. But the defense that the Holiday brothers, especially Justin, who can hopefully do what DeLon Wright did last year in the passing lane, stealing those passing lanes and getting out in transition. The Hawks were last in transition points last year, last in the league. That's going to change with DeJounte Murray, Aaron Holiday, and Justin Holiday. And Okongwu getting better on the defensive end. Clint Capella. Not to mention DeAndre Hunter, who's an insane defender. Tyrese Martin, great defender. So we've got the guys that we can really emphasize that defensive-minded approach, like what Coach Nate likes. What were you going to say, Mike, there?
Just the attitude. It's a different attitude. Last year, we was talking about this in the playoffs. It's just like outside of Trey, like Trey was doing everything he possibly could in the playoffs just to get something going, but everybody just lost, just like it was no confidence. John Collins did pretty well. He played well during the playoffs, in my opinion, defensively. Obviously, he had the issue with his finger, so he wasn't as effective offensively, but I just saw a lot of quit. And I think this is the type of team that the Atlanta Hawks needed, the players that they needed around him, because Trey can't do it all. No one player can do it all himself. And you got 3-4 guys that are absolute dogs. When I tell you that DeJounte Murray is an absolute dog, this dude likes to play defense, okay? I love players who love to play defense.
Oh, yeah.
That's my type of guy. And then you got those Holiday boys, like you said, they go at their own, they going at their own brother. So that's the type of attitude I think a lot of teams it's gonna take them off guard to see these guys play with that type of attitude. You're not gonna be able to bully Trey this year. You're not gonna be able to bully these guys like that this year. And I gotta throw one guy in there also. I gotta throw one guy in there also offensively. If he can consistently get offense in the paint or just develop a mid-range jump shot, Okongwu, that dude is going to be a vital part of that. He's going to be a vital part coming off the bench because if Clint can't consistently score, we know he can play defense. If we can get a little bit of offense from Okongwu, this team would be dangerous, man.
Two points of note real quick. It's a contract year for Dre Hunter. That's one.
He's going to ball.
Secondly, DeJounte Murray did that in 31 minutes yesterday.
Whew.
What he did, what you announced earlier, he did it in 31 minutes. Am I lying? Look at it. Look it up.
We got it. We got it right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, just look at the minutes. And the Hawks Twitter, who was saying Justin Holiday and Aaron Holiday are scrubs. Look at these. Look at this. 32 minutes and 26 minutes from the Holiday brothers, and look at what they did to produce. Man. I mean, you can't. You gotta know ball better than that.
That's 25 points off the bench. That's come on, man.
And Truth, sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No. Go ahead, man. I'm giddy about the Hawks right now, and I'm normally listen. Michael tell you, I'm the grumpy OG. I'm the one that's always complaining. So if they got me, if they don't warn me after one preseason game, I really like what I see. I'm just curious. And guess what? We haven't even mentioned our first round pick. Keep this kid healthy. He's probably going to be mostly in College Park this year, and that's okay for him to develop. And more than likely the Martin kid as well. But I saw something in this kid. During the summer league, I'm like, that boy can play.
Oh yeah, he
like,
can.
yeah, like, and he got length.
Tyrese Martin got a motor, he got length, he got skills, and he got the will, baby. I got a lot to say about Tyrese Martin, baby. I got a lot to say about that young fella, baby. Hey, you hear me? Listen, guy, I apologize for
go ahead.
the ins and the outs and the disruptions. I'm excited about these Hawks. Y'all want to know something that I'm gonna ask? I got 3 very intelligent men right here, 3 very intelligent kings right here. I'm gonna ask each king a separate question, and then I'm gonna see if y'all see where I'm going with this. Okay,
bring it,
Mikey. Your question: perimeter defense. The team with the best perimeter defense that night. Is that team more likely to win the game?
Yeah, I mean, with perimeter defense, if you win the points in the paint battle, you keep your defender in front of you, and you don't allow the other team to get into the paint, you're most likely going to win, unless they have an insane shooting night from 3. But with the amount of perimeter defenders and the talent that the length that more guys are having right now. You win that perimeter defense battle, you're most likely to win that game, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Especially taking in mind the type of league that we're in today, where it's a shooters league and not a bangers league. Yeah. Very good. Big Mike from the wood. That's what they call him. Big Mike. If you have multiple double-digit scores, not only in the starting lineup, but also coming off the bench. If that is something consistent and persistent throughout a season, isn't that team more than likely going to finish somewhere high in the playoff ranking?
I would think so, because it's hard to keep up. For one, I don't know how a team will be able to keep up with that type of momentum, because one guy goes out and he gets in foul trouble. You got another guy that can, come in and do, if not the same, but more. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous thing. That's what I mean by having the Congo and Clint Capella. Congo, he gets better as far as his offense is concerned. This Hawks team is a much better team, man.
Absolutely. I'm inclined to agree with you, Big Mike from the wood, what they call. Now, I'm gonna call your aunt, but then I'm asking your name because I'm not embarrassed to ask people their name.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem, man. Just call me OG Truth. That's me.
OG Truth, Blackberry. Good to meet you.
There it is, man.
Listening to you speak, I can tell you're a very highly intellectual being. So I want to ask you a highly intellectual question. Now,
go ahead.
When you have 2 players on a team, already with a team that has great perimeter defense, they have multiple scoring options coming in the starting lineup and off the bench. And when you include 2 guys, DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, who could either one of them take over a game at any given moment, what are the chances that team has it has a high chance of competing in a finals? Or you know what, we're not gonna go that far. Not gonna go that far. What's the chance of that team being a competitor in the conference finals?
Stay healthy, you can win it with 2 dogs. The key thing is health. You stay healthy, you can win it with 2 dogs, especially when you have a supporting cast that's worth their weight in salt. You got 2 dogs like that, you got a supporting cast that's worth their weight in salt. You can win it. Teams in the past have shown it. Of late, you've been having guys that have been having those 2 dogs, and then they had a 3rd guy. Okay, listen. If with DeJounte and Trae, it doesn't matter who the 3rd guy is every night. The 3rd guy doesn't have to always be Dre Hunter or John Collins or Congo off the bench or one of the Holiday brothers off the bench or Bogey. As long as you got them 2, And you got tonight is Bogey. Bogey was sizzling from the outside. Okay, Dre had the next night. Dre had a match. He was giving his guy matchup problems. When you got two dogs, it doesn't matter who that third guy is. Again, I'm gonna say this again, and I'm gonna say it, and I have to reiterate because we all got our knowledge up here. It's just one game. We're not gonna throw confetti off one game, ladies and gentlemen. But looking at the big picture, this team gonna be a problem. Like the way they went at the number one ranked team in the league. And guess what? Like I said at the top of the show, Milwaukee tried to win that game yesterday.
Yep.
Midway through the second half, when Giannis started becoming a facilitator, when he started just putting his head down, going to the hoop, I saw they're trying to win, and we just kept. Listen, he got his. Giannis gonna be Giannis, man. Like that dude. That is, we'll probably never see that again. What he does, and Milwaukee has a very, very good veteran, savvy team that's going to be there. That's a possible finals preview.
Yep.
I know the people in Brooklyn don't want to hear that. I know the people in Philly don't want to hear that. But I really don't care what they think.
Brooklyn.
Let's call it what it is now.
OG.
They get it. If they get their mind right up there, that's a problem now. Up there in Brooklyn. You get Simmons.
See,
Harden.
when I'm thinking Brooklyn, I was thinking the Knicks. All right, I got you now. I was thinking Knicks. I was like,
I said Harden.
okay.
Harden is Philly now, right? But you got Simmons, Irvin, and that nappy head boy up there. They get it together. Let's not get it twisted. Now they're a problem. They get it together.
They are.
You know.
Let's kind of get to Mikey's the film breakdown. He want to break. So
go ahead, Mike. Go ahead on.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I've got a little 10-second clip here that we were talking about how DeJounte Murray is going to help this team so much with Trey, right? And this just epitomizes it. So we're going to introduce
Trent Forrest and Jalen Johnson unavailable for the Hawks today. Murray to the rim, scores, and the foul.
So
Trent Forrest and Jalen Johnson unavailable for the Hawks today. Murray to the rim.
All right. So it just looked like a simple and one, right? But if y'all saw, and I don't know, you can let me know if you didn't see it. But in the near side of your screen, you've got Trey in some off-ball action, right?
Run that back, Mikey. Run that back one more time.
Okay, keep an eye on the near side of your screen and the action with Trey and these off-ball screens, and then watch what DeJounte does when he sees that the team is focused on that. Okay.
Trent Forrest and Jalen Johnson unavailable for the Hawks today. Murray to the rim, scores, and the foul.
He took two guys with him.
So much action.
I saw that.
Yes. So
Trey took that little bitty man took two guys with him.
Yep. We didn't have DeJounte is that second guy to punish the rim when teams are falling asleep. We didn't have that second guy. Yes, Bogey can do that, but he can't finish like DeJounte can. He can attack the rim, but he's not. He doesn't have that quick first step that DeJounte has. And now, when teams are so focused on what Trey is doing because he's such a good catch and shoot three player, we've got DeJounte who they're so focused on Trey. Now we have an elite finisher at the rim who's going to jump, who's going to dunk over guys, who's going to finish these crafty layups and be able to play make if that shot's not there. So that clip, and there's so many others if you want to go through the film of that game.
Do you have a clip, Mikey? Do you have a clip of them on the defensive side of the ball and with the starters? And here's why I'm asking for this. Something else DeJounte brings. A lot of times in a lot of games, Dre Hunter was wore out guarding the number one scoring option on the other team. Okay, and if that team had two or more guys like we got now, Dre Hunter was spit at the end of games. So now that we got DeJounte, and it looks like them Holiday brothers are some good on ball defenders as well. And I'm gonna keep bringing up Tyrese Martin. I'm gonna bring him up until
Yep.
until he shows up. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you that's where we'll be NBA champions at, on that side of the ball, because we showed we can get we can
score with anybody.
Yeah, we showed you we can put 120 in somebody back with your main dogs playing 30 minutes. Like they was over there sitting down with the legs crossed, joning on the Saudi Arabian folks, and we was up 15. Well, they're winning by 10. Listen, scoring the ball is not an issue. Scoring the ball wasn't an issue even last year. Even with everything all centered around Trey. Scoring the ball wasn't an issue. Yeah, it became an issue in the playoffs. The court cuts in half in the playoffs.
Say it again.
It cuts in half in the playoffs. It goes from 90 to 45. And listen, every possession is key and critical. And when they was blitzing Trey, the only time somebody got hot in that Miami series was Bogey in Game 2 in the fourth quarter, and Dre in Game 5 in the fourth quarter. Nobody else got it any type of rhythm. And Trey looked spent. Trey looked like the fight was took out of him. I'm not gonna call him a quitter, Mike, because Mike, man, Mike got all over me.
I literally just said it earlier. Calm down. I literally said the same thing. I said the same thing.
Can I be apologetic? Can I be apologetic? Now you won't let me apologize.
Go ahead.
You worse than Tristan Thompson with Draymond Green. But listen, man, we got options, gentlemen. We got options out there, and I'm real excited to see. Listen, fans, be patient. We're gonna have stretches where we might not play well for like 3 to 5 games. Don't lose your brains, okay? Because they're still young. They still a bunch of babies. Look, if you look at the ages, Clinton is not even really that old. His body old, but Clinton's not that old. Bogey is not really that old.
Clint runs the floor very well.
He does.
He runs the floor extremely well.
Yes.
It's very decisive running on the floor. You don't know he's moving until you see him all the way down the court already.
I think the two oldest guys on the team is Frank the Tank and the oldest Holiday.
Yep.
I think they're the two oldest guys on the team. Everybody, they got babies. And they still and those babies are still learning how to play winning basketball. They know how to play basketball. They learn how to play winning basketball, and they're still going through maturity stage. I had to pep talk myself on that because I'm so impatient. I'm kind of old school. I'm a fan of Rick Mahorn throwing Bill Laimbeer into the third row, but that wasn't real basketball. But I'm gonna ask a question to all of you gentlemen. Should the Hawks be through with their roster, or should they bring in one added piece? And if so, what type of piece should they bring in, and for what reason? And I'm going to start down. Now I forgot your name.
Blackberry.
I'm going to start with you. Should the Hawks bring in another piece, and if so, what position? And what should this piece bring to the team if they should bring in another piece?
A solid true foe. A solid true foe. Solely for his job is solely for being aggressive on boards and setting picks and screens. That's it.
Okay.
A solid foe who look. You know what? DeMarcus Cousins gets, to me, he don't get enough credit for what he's capable of. I think DeMarcus Cousins had an exponential amount of potential for what he could give a team, but because of the league the kind of NBA we have today, not our NBA from back in the day. So it's a shooters league. But
Villa Rica native Jay Crowder will fit that. He's not happy in Phoenix. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you fine. But yeah, I agree with you. Crowder does fit that. But I think another true foe, and the reason why I say that, I still think we're a little light in the ass down low in the front court.
I can go for that.
I think we still a little light in the ass. But that's not saying that what we have can't do the job. I just would rather, when it's time to go to a bigger lineup, I would like to have somebody in there that's more of a banger at that 4 position, because it's with basketball, difference between basketball and football. When you're evaluating talent in basketball, usually once you at that professional level in basketball and you're being evaluated as a great after about a year or so, you're usually great. There isn't a whole lot of digressing in talent and skill set if you've been evaluated as being a great player. Okay. In football, it's real easy to be tricked because the speed levels from college to professional is just so many different speeds to go through. So it's real easy to be deceived that somebody's a great player when really it was just the situation they was in that made them look great. So with basketball, when it comes to these big men in basketball, what they are is who they really, what you see from them that first year in the league, that's who they are. I really believe that a Crowder or somebody like that, or a Cousins, somebody like, when we get one of them guys, this team gonna be unstoppable.
Okay,
it's gonna be unstoppable.
Okay, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna call him Mikey likes it. He likes it. Mikey, he likes it. Okay, Mikey, what do you think?
All right. For me, I really think we need a guy off the bench who, another shooter off the bench, because obviously I know Bogey. I love Bogey. I mean, he's so good. I mean, people were comparing Kevin Huerter and Bogey last year, and I was like, no, Bogey's the superior player. It's not close, in my opinion. It was never close. But I think that with his knee issues, and when he's our biggest offensive threat, we need another guy who can, that secondary ball handler who can like handle and a bit of shooting and slashing. Aaron Holiday, as good as he is, that's not his strong suit. His strong suit is defense and catch and shoot. Same with Justin Holiday. But I hope
there's another Bogdanovich in Detroit that used to be in Utah that might be available. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bojan. Bojan Bogdanovich, that could really do this for this team. But I think the price might be too high.
Okay.
I think it would be too high. But somebody like that, some guy who can create a little bit and shoot, and just in case Bogey goes down, AJ Griffin could be that guy. But like we know, Nate doesn't like his rookies. You know, he likes them to develop in the G League, and I don't blame him. So I don't think that we'll see AJ Griffin, but something like that. You know, shot creator and a 3-point shooter off the bench when Bogey eventually does miss some time.
Mike.
Think you muted, Mike.
I'm gonna keep it short. I honestly think we need a small guard that's going to come off the bench and just can shoot the three, because they're going to be instances where a lot of teams are going to go small. Everybody looking for them to go big, and I think a lot of teams are going to try to see how the small lineup, how Atlanta does. They're going to try to out physical Trey. So I think if the Hawks are going to be able to have that balance between small lineup and big lineup, I already think they got the big lineup. I really don't think they're have any issues down low. Being that Okongwu now is getting that respect from the refs. That's the number one thing, because he was getting fouls that a lot of people just like, all right, that's clearly, you know, a rookie foul. Rookie weren't getting respect. So I think being in the second and third year, his development, having a guy that if Trey doesn't have that 3-point shot, or DeJounte doesn't have that 3-point shot, bring in a small guard that can come in, shoot the 3 ball, and just bring another element, because those Holiday guys are not known for being 3-point shooters. So you get a guard that can come in and do exactly that. I think that'll make this team a lot better.
There's a guy up north named Patty Mills.
Patty Mills, Buddy Hield. What about Buddy Hield?
Well, I don't think they're trading.
Too much.
I don't think they're not trading Buddy Hield, but I actually got to push back on that. Aaron Holiday and Justin Holiday are great 3-point shooters for their career. Aaron Holiday shooting 38% from 3 in his career. He did it last
consistently though. Like, they don't shoot a high volume of threes though. Like, they've been consistent. So look, when they're asked to shoot, they are. But like, I think this is the team. Like, the Atlanta Hawks, they're going to shoot a lot of threes, and they're going to ask their guards to shoot a high volume, especially playing with a Trey Young. You better be ready to catch and shoot, and I think that's the thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I didn't understand what you're saying.
We need a nasty. We got a bunch of good guys. The Hawks got a bunch of good guys, nice guys, lovable guys that you'll introduce to your daughter. I need a nasty guy there with his breath stinking and don't take no showers down there in the paint when it get.
We already got that, man.
When it get greasy, shut up, Mike. Don't interrupt me. When it get greasy, when it get greasy, who gonna get them 6 fouls? Who
that's Okongwu. That's what I'm saying, man.
And we don't but we need offensive production from Okongwu. I need somebody who's gonna come in there and who we can get 6 fouls from, but we don't need his offensive production.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
When we run up on them Embiids, when we run up on them Embiids and them Karl Anthony Towns, and
true 4.
Yeah. A 4 or 5. I want some nastiness. I just want them to get. It could be a journeyman. It could be a journeyman center. We just, we get them on a mid-level exception. We just need some nastiness. Like I said, breath stinking, not taking no baths or nothing. I want them. I want them to be funky when they go out on the court. We need it. We need that. I think that's the only thing our team is missing. Yeah, but I hear what you're saying about Okongwu, Mike. But we need his offensive production too. We need, because Clint gonna have 6-point nights. So we may need Onyeka to give us 13 to 15 off the bench. I need somebody who's gonna go in there and not have a problem with getting that hard foul. Get a flagrant every now and again. That's all I got.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Also, I've got one more clip here of an Aaron Holiday steal that was really also like display the basketball IQ, the defensive mindedness that he has. So we'll watch that one time, and then we're probably gonna wrap it up in a bit here soon. But let's go ahead and watch the steal in the bottom right corner of your screen here.
And/or DeJounte Murray running things. Both those guys as a combination together is really powerful backcourt.
Look at this battle. Lopez against Capella, won by Capella with the.
Y'all see both Holiday brothers. I'll show the beginning again. Watch the first Holiday brother on the perimeter too.
And/or DeJounte Murray running things. Both those guys as a combination together is really powerful.
Y'all see that man get around those 2 screens like it was nothing. He just evaded like it was nothing. I mean, that and the steal from Aaron Holiday in the paint. You don't see too many guys doing that. I mean, DeLon Wright would have done that last year. DeLon Wright was exceptional for this team. But we now have those guys, and Kevin Huerter wasn't that guy, unfortunately. But we need defensive guys now, and it just shows like the uber importance of those defensive-minded guys that we have now. So I'm really excited to look forward to this season. But any last final remarks on the Hawks before we wrap up here, guys?
Tyrese Martin is also great. at splitting those screens. Tyrese Martin is a dog, man.
He is.
He really is. I watched him when he first came in the game, and they was swinging the ball around the perimeter. He stayed with his man through 2 screens, and I was like, man, this dude is running. He got a motor. He got a motor, man. And like OG said, with that length he got, as well as him having some playmaking ability, he has some playmaking ability. But with that motor he got and that length he got, man, that guy's gonna be a dog. Hey, coach, OG, he might be that dog you want at guard coming off the bench now. He might be that dog that you looking for.
But he take baths, so I need somebody that don't take baths.
Well, he light skinned, so he probably take baths. He light skinned.
Nah, leave the light skinned brothers alone, man. Hey, this man, my final word is, man, fly high, Hawks. Hey, stay healthy. Follow the course. And hey, man.
Yep. Mad Mike, what you got for the final Hawks remarks? I think you on mute.
I think Onyeka is the guy, man. I just think everybody's not giving him enough credit for improving this game, man. Just offensively, and I think he's just an absolute monster defensively, man. Everybody look at Clint Capella, but we got that big man. And I think we can score, so I don't think we need anybody. I don't think we need anybody. We need guys who can score off the bench because let's keep it honest. Yeah. We don't know what those Holiday boys are going to be consistent offensively. We don't know if Bogdanovich is going to be healthy enough to score. I think we need a score. Onyeka is that guy, man.
I understand. I understand. I just think I think, and Mikey, if you want to go on and wrap it up. I just think we're not going to have a problem scoring that basketball this year. But I understand. Listen, everybody got compelling arguments as to what we need. But right now we good. But time will tell out the first 20 to 25 games.
We'll see.
20 to 25 games in, then we can revisit this and be like, okay, this is what we need. So
yeah.
that's about it, man.
I'm just excited in general for this season. I mean, Mikey brought up a great point there. Onyeka can really take that next step this year. We've seen him shoot some corner threes. We saw him develop a mid-range. Schlenk wanted him to get better on the defensive rebounding side of things, and he's done that so far in the preseason, which we saw. So, I mean, a lot of encouraging things this preseason game for the Hawks. Obviously, they got another one tomorrow in Abu Dhabi against the Bucks again. So we'll definitely be watching that game. Probably going to be recapping that in the episode next week. But
you're gonna probably see a lot of the reserves tomorrow.
Oh, I agree. We're not going to see.
We're
not going to see the big minutes from DeJounte, Trey, Onyeka.
We're going to see a lot of reserves tomorrow. So then we can see Tyrese Martin. As you can see, Tyrese Martin got a fan club already, man.
Yeah, I want to see some AJ Griffin minutes too. But hey,
yeah, I do too, man.
Shout out to everybody who came through tonight. Leo, you always here, and Antonio, shout out to you, Mr. Cleanup, Vlad, Yusuke, Wallace, Brian. Thanks guys for tuning in. As far as us, y'all can follow me on Twitter at PinWizard300. I mostly tweet about Hawks and Braves. And then YouTube, this is also streaming on my YouTube channel, Recapping Hawks Hoops, where I'll be, once the season starts, uploading recaps after every single game, talking about the box score, what I saw. So definitely make sure to check me out on there. Mad Mike, where can they get you at?
They know, man. Mad Mike Sports on Twitter, Instagram, obviously here on YouTube. But hey, man, we're everywhere, man. So just hit us up, man. We're gonna do a lot more uploads on the Hawks Braves, so you guys stay tuned for that, as well as the Atlanta Falcons. We do that every day, so we're gonna get a lot of content coming. So if you guys want to be a part of this, just hit us up. Hit up Ms Maggie. Myself or OG Tooth Hurts, Mikey. Look, just hit us up, man. We'll definitely let you guys know us.
Definitely.
You check me out at OG on Twitter at OG Truth Hurts. I also have a YouTube channel that Mike them trying to help me out with. I'm new to this, man. I'm new to this game here, but I got a YouTube channel called The King's Ransom, and it's very interesting. I'm also I have a radio show. I'm a co-host on a radio show on 2 Factor Media Radio. That's 2FM. Shout out to the 2 Factor Media Radio crew. It's called a Big Bird Game Day Report, man, and we just talk about everything that goes on in the Southeast, man. And y'all, hey, listen, man, y'all make sure that y'all check these guys out, man. They some heavy hitters. I thank y'all for having me on. Get me on here whenever. I love to talk. I love to talk Hawks, Braves, Falcons, and whatever you want to talk about, man. I got you, man. Hey, truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth over here, man. Thank you, man, Mike, man. Thank you, Mikey.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was really fun having you on. Great to discuss, and looking forward for some more preseason and then some Braves postseason baseball upcoming here in the next week. So great time for Atlanta sports right here too. We got the Falcons as a fun team to watch too out here. So it's going to be some good sports watching over the next few weeks. So definitely stay tuned for the show next week, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yes, sir. Peace.